The first thing that hit my nose was the smell of rotten meat. The moment I smelled it, I knew something was wrong by the side of the road. In the middle of a crowded street, people were scrunched up, running away from a certain spot. When I looked at what everyone was avoiding, my blood ran cold. There, on the concrete, lay a trembling dog. But the thing around its neck was even worse. It was no longer a collar. It was a damn rope that had been put on when it was a puppy and never replaced as it grew. It was embedded in the animal's neck, cutting into its flesh and sinking into its skin. The wound was so deep that flies had made their home there. People looked on in disgust and walked by. Some people said, "Don't touch it, you'll get sick." Some turned their heads away. At that moment, the world was divided into two: those who turned their backs and those who heard the silent scream in those eyes. The dog didn't run away. It didn't bark. It just lay there, looking into my eyes, resigned to death. It was as if it was saying, "Don't leave me alone with this pain." When I picked it up, its body was burning hot. We put it in the car and went to the vet. But what we heard on the examination table crushed our last shred of hope. When the doctor opened the wound, his face turned pale. He shook his head. "You are too late. The infection has reached the bone. Her body is about to fail. Let's not prolong this pain. It is best to put her to sleep." Time stood still in that room. I had to make a decision. My mind told me to let her go. My heart told me we could win this fight. I looked into the doctor's eyes and said, "Number, we won't kill him. We'll fight." What followed were the hardest 72 hours of my life. The surgery lasted for hours. When they cut the cord from his flesh, Goldie couldn't even make a sound. He should have been screaming in pain, but he was just crying silently. His spirit was so exhausted. The first 3 nights were pure hell. I spent the mornings on the cold floor of the clinic, watching the IV drip. I held my breath every time her fever spiked. I placed my hand on her heart to see if her chest was rising and falling. I begged her in that dark room, "Don't leave me, baby, I promise. Everything will be beautiful." She learned to trust me in those dark nights. I also learned to believe in miracles in that cold room. This wasn't just a treatment, it was a test of love. And on the morning of the 3rd day, the impossible happened. The dog who was said to die by morning stood up on his trembling legs. He raised his head. He looked at me with tired eyes. For the first time in his life, he wagged his tail. That simple wag of the tail was more precious to me than all the treasures in the world. At that moment, all of us, including the vet, were crying like children. We had returned from the brink of death. That dog, whom people used to look at with disgust and change their path, is now my closest friend. Today, Goldie lives with me, right at the center of my life. That horrible wound on his neck is gone. It has been replaced by pure white fur and an invisible medal of heroism. That smell is gone, replaced only by love. Sometimes I think, what if I had ignored that smell that day? What if I had turned my head away, frightened by that horrible sight? I would never have experienced this tremendous friendship, this pure love. If you ever see a living being in need, don't look back. Saving a life is actually saving your own soul. Goldie taught me that you don't have to be a hero to do good. You just need to have a heart. Do you have a story like this? I'd love to hear it in the comments.